Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Lights Camera Discussion Podcast. This is part two of our four-parter on the man, the myth, the legend that is Kevin Smith. Let's get straight into it. Collie, what's the first film we're going to talk about in this part?
We're going to be talking about 2001's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. When Jay and Silent Bob learn that their comic book alter egos Blunt Man and Chronic have been sold to Hollywood as part of a big screen movie that leaves them out of any royalties, the pair travel to Tinseltown to sabotage the production.
Yes, they do. Right, first thoughts, Collie.
I love this film. I actually seen it. This was the first film I think I seen of Kevin Smith, which is quite weird, obviously, because a lot of it's tied back to previous installments and stuff. But loved the dynamic between Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith. Loved the kind of zaniness of the plot. Loved the orangutan. Just love this film start to finish. It's a belter.
It's funny, I'm the same as you, because I think this was the first one I saw of Kevin Smith as well. I think it was around that same time as Dude, Where's My Car and all that sort of kind of funny stoner sort of comedies and stuff. And it maybe just got kind of caught up in all that. So I've got a tinge of nostalgia for this as well. But it's fantastic. It's just so stupid. It's great. Jay and Silent Bob being the forefront of the film is genius. And as you say, having watched the other films now, you kind of get more out of it as well. So yeah, brilliant film. Todd?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as you two. It was my introduction to Kevin Smith. It was like me and a group of mates. One of the lads was like, hey, have you seen this? And put it on. I think we were like 14, 15 maybe. And just laughed the whole way through. A shit we didn't even realise, like, in terms of the jokes and stuff. Like, it just... Like you say, there's all these throwbacks to different films, and it didn't matter. It's a phenomenal film, and one that people will look at and go, "This is stupid," and I'm fine with that. I have the best time every single time I watch it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, the elephant in the room is obviously you were talking about me not being silly or not enjoying the kind of sillier aspects of Kevin Smith's other films. I think what elevates it for me on this one is the fact that Jay and Silent Bob are the ones at the forefront of it. Like, they're just so effortlessly charming. But I think those two are just, whenever they're on screen, whether it's this film, whether it's another film, they are the best parts of it. What were your thoughts on them, Collie, and their kind of dynamic?
So I'll try and look at it from a... Now that I've seen the other films, when you watch them in chronological order, it's a natural progression, I think, of Clerks. They're like not there. Mallrats in it a little bit more. Chasing Amy's like that one scene, and obviously Dogma elevates them to like main cast. And this is the natural step that they get their own film. I think they're excellent. Jay, especially. Jay has to carry a lot of it because he's the speaking one, and Silent Bob is mostly silent. So it's all facial expressions and stuff for Kevin Smith. And for a guy who, what's this, 2001, like 7 years before that, everyone had to vacate the state, like the shooting bit, to dance, and he couldn't deliver one of his lines. So Kevin Smith had to do it to then lead a Hollywood film. Pretty much is such a good progression. There's a lot of background stuff of like substance abuse issues that he was going through at the time, which is really sad to hear about behind the scenes. But I don't think you can really tell in this film. I think he still delivers all the lines properly. I think he's as charismatic and silly as he is in everything else. So fair play to Jason Mewes to pull himself together, I guess, for lack of a better term, to deliver a performance like this in what was a big film for Kevin Smith, following off the back of Dogma, which was his most famous film, how you want to see it, with all the controversy and stuff. So this was a big one for him to follow up on, and I think Jason Mewes just delivered it brilliantly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Todd?
Yeah, they you can tell that they're just mates. You can tell that they've got that chemistry on screen. Again, just on Kevin Smith, because like you said, Jay has to carry it, but Kevin Smith, those kind of looks, he almost perfects the the John Krasinski Jim The Office look to the camera. He perfects that in this film. But yeah, Jay for me, his energy, just his delivery of some lines, and it's really hard because this is a film for me that is just a film full of quotes, and I don't want to like I'll probably have to say like 6 or 7 favorite ones, but like some of his delivery is fantastic. And like you say, that sort of progression, not only as characters but as an actor for Jason Mewes is fantastic. I think it's the perfect film for them as well, in that if you tried to make a straight laced Jay and Silent Bob film, it just wouldn't fucking work. Like it just wouldn't be a thing that anybody would want to watch, because they are zany characters, they are over the top. Even in like films like Mallrats, where Silent Bob's pulling out all the different things. Yeah, they make this film. I know they're the titular characters, but it wouldn't be the same if it wasn't Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I completely agree. Obviously, again, it's one of those that's just like chock full of characters that come and go, that massive names that have just little cameos that we kind of discussed in the previous part, where for Kevin Smith to get them, all right, they're being paid, but for him to still get them to come on and do their thing, it's a testament to him. Collie, what about, was there anyone that kind of stood out? Anything that you were surprised at? Any characters that were jumped out at you, apart from obviously Jane Silent Bob?
Shannon Elizabeth as Justice is just incredible. Like, knowing her really only from American Pie before this, so for the fact that she's like, a full speaking role, American accent, not just a dodgy, Russian / Eastern European one. I think she does really, really well, and she plays like the ditzy wholesomeness, I think, really, really well, especially against the kind of underhanded, like, evil nature of our diamond heist gang. I think she does that brilliantly. Sean William Scott as Brent as part of their gang is just he's proper silly. And like the sidebars that he has with like Jay, and that's just so stupid. Will Ferrell is the Marshal as well. Is just so silly. Yeah, just some of the cameos, like Carrie Fisher as the nun, George Carlin as the hitchhiker, Mark Hamill as himself as the cock knocker. Yeah, just like you say, Massey, just top to bottom, just whether it's like a 1 second cameo or a fully developed part like Shannon Elizabeth, I think everyone really just delivers. And I think similar to what you're saying about Dogma and Chasing Amy and previous films, like, he obviously is such an affable, nice guy that all these people will be like, fuck it, I'll come like to your movie for like a day to shoot a 2 second cameo or whatever. Like, absolutely, I'm going to do that for you. So I think this is like the real amalgamation of all of his hard work in the last 7 years of making friends and getting all these connections and stuff like that. I think this is one that it really pulls it all together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to kind of expand on that, because you absolutely nailed it. Like, it's the amalgamation of,
Obviously.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. It's the amalgamation of him, isn't it? But yeah, just some of the cameos are absolutely spot on. Todd, was there anyone else that stood out for yourself?
Ben Affleck, obviously playing two roles, because he was the bomb in Phantoms. Like that. Phantom's like a motherfucker. Like, but it's how he introduces himself. Like, obviously at the start, where he's look who's shitting their cereal. He does like the bung. Like, is amazing. But like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck as themselves in Good Will Hunting 2 hunting season with applesauce bitch was amazing. I think Van Der Beek and Jason Biggs do like, don't you recognise me? I'm the pie fucker is a line I don't think I'll ever get over. When he says about him in prison, you'll be the pie. Like you say, from top to bottom, everybody's doing fantastic work. I can't, when you see like the like the We Rate Dogs and all that kind of like Instagram things about like kindness to animals, I can't help but hear Brent say, I'm down because I love animals. The way that he says that, fantastic. even down to like the really weird bits, like the Scooby Doo bit where he's why are we taking our cues from a dickhead in a neckerchief? Like that sort of stuff is fantastic.
Voiced by Mark Hamill as well, which I didn't realize until I did some research. He voices Scooby Doo.
Oh, to see that?
Yeah, I never clocked onto that before.
But the other thing that I didn't realize until like doing like I'm getting IMDb up and stuff ready for this is that baby Silent Bob is Harley Quinn Smith.
Yeah.
Like as if he's getting like I know, and I think touching about like getting these people back. Like there's a big criticism about like him getting he makes films and gets his friends in them and gets his family in them and stuff. And I fucking love that. Like if I had that power, I would love to be able to like cast my friends and family. And I love that he's doing this from the fucking from like her being a tiny baby. And Chris Rock. Sorry, last one. Mm-hmm. Chris Rock, where Taste the Bugger flavor was absolutely fantastic. It's banky. No, it's fucky. Again, it's just quotes. It's just quotes after quotes, and I fucking love this film.
Absolutely.
Sorry if I haven't.
No. It's fine. Even the little things like there was like Wes Craven and like Gus Van Sant as well and stuff. Like just
Gus Van Sant just counting the money.
Yeah. Like it's just so like again the fact that they've just literally cropped up for 2 seconds and it's just funny little moments. There was also kind of like the little nods to the previous films and stuff as well that again I would never have caught on my first watching this, but things like even using the same grapple gun he used in Mallrats and stuff. It's just like moments like that totally build up to making it what it is. And when with Kevin Smith, again, I've had my reservations about him, but knowing that there was like a sort of a shared universe, I didn't know how that would play out, if it would be like, you know, him just trying to like put things in just to say, oh, it's a shared universe, but it actually makes sense in the kind of the whole grand scheme of things. So yeah, I do appreciate that side of continuity as well. Colin, was there anything you want to talk about in terms of technical or tidbits or?
One of the one which ties into one of our previous episodes. The name of one of the online critics is Magnolia Fan, which was inspired by a feud on the View Askew website's message board after Kevin Smith posted a strongly negative review of Magnolia. Fans of Paul Thomas Anderson swarmed the board and criticised Smith. So I just thought that was an interesting bit of trivia to pull it back to our Paul Thomas Anderson episode.
Of course, absolutely. Anything else? It's tough one because, as you say, it's kind of more quotey and sort of like it's a zany sort of fun film to watch.
This is technically a quote, but it's like not in the main bit of the film, and it just shows how much fun it must have been on that set. And it's at the end, you know, where like it goes through each actor and it gives them like the little sort of screen time, like for the credit, and then it goes, and of course. And then it cuts to an outtake of Jay and Silent Bob. And again, it's one of those things that kills me every time. And it's where they're talking to Ben Affleck and he's talking about people talking about them on the internet. And he's like, we're macking some chick. And she says, I heard on the internet that you two are a couple little fuckholes. And like, Jay says it in Kevin Smith's face so hard, they both just fall to the floor laughing. And I just think it's a lovely moment between two mates. Do you know what I mean? Who've like gone through this, like they're still doing stuff together and they're still working together, and I just think it's a lovely little reference to like how well they must get on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, Collie, anything else you want to?
No, I think that's me. I think we've covered quite a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. Well, let's go with obviously our favorite thing. So, quote Collie. Do you want to?
Can we put it to Todd first because he says he's got a few. So
okay, Todd.
So the first one is just literally where Justice says, "Look at him, he's just so innocent." And a woman walks past the shop that they stood outside of, and Jay goes, "Hey lady, have you ever had your asshole licked by a fat man in an overcoat?" And then he looks at Kevin Smith and goes, "Yeah." But the other one that like I won't go on because I could go on forever is the Click Commander. I am the Click Commander. Remember this fucking face whenever you see Click, you'll see this fucking face. And it's the bit where he goes, I pinch it like this. That's usually his nose. Yeah, but like I say, I could go on forever. I'm not going to.
Do you want me to go call it in? Or?
Yeah, you can go, Missy.
Yeah. Mine was Jay to Brent, Sean William Scott, after the discussion. And he says, "Yo, this motherfucker ain't one of us. He said he'd fuck a sheep." Like,
The way they sabotage him and just like chuck him out the van is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, Collie.
So it's when they're reading about themselves online. So Jay's like, any movie based on Jay and Silent Bob are going to lick balls because they both in fact lick balls. And it's his reply to that, motherfucker, it's time we wrote something back. Type this shit down. All you motherfuckers are going to pay. You are the ones who are the ball lickers. We're going to fuck your mothers while you watch and cry like little whiny bitches. Once we get to Hollywood and find those Minimax fucks who is making the movie, we're going to make them eat our shit and then shit out our shit and eat their shit that's made up of our shit that we made them eat, and all you motherfucks are next. Love, Jay and Silent Bob. And then just a special mention to the rap at the start, the motherfuck. Do you know where it cuts from, like with the babies to adult Jay? I love that as well. $15, little man, and all that. And one of the last ones is the clits and offshoot of the labia. Oh, you mean the liberate apes before imprisoning apes movement? So stupid.
Brilliant. Okay, favorite scene, Collie?
The diamond breaking scene, for reasons.
Mm-hmm. What would those reasons be? Do you want to elaborate? Or
Very well made. I like the lasers.
Okay. Anything else, or just no? Okay,
Nope.
Cool. Perfect. Excellent. For me, it was a cock knocker fight. Like, it's just so silly. And it's the fact Mark Hamill, like, playing himself, playing the cock knocker, like, and it goes all meta and stuff. Yeah, it's
like somebody's gonna get sued.
Yeah.
and then when he gets his hand chopped off, he's like, "Not again."
And it's the I think I read as well when Jay uses the lightsaber as like a bong. Like, I don't think that was actually the script. He actually just sort of improvised that, which is class. Todd,
the line in that scene. Sorry, this isn't my scene, but the line in that scene where he turns on that thing and he does it, and he got "Call me Darth Balls." Like, fantastic. It's the scene with Ben Affleck where he's finding out about where they're finding out about the internet.
Yeah, and he's like, explaining what the internet is.
Fictional characters like that, and who would pay to see a Jay and Silent. But I think that was one of the first proper fourth wall breaks that I recognised as, like, in a film. Like, who would pay to see a Jay and Silent Bob movie? And they all, like, look at the camera, and, like, Kevin Smith's, like, really, like, innocent and smiling away. Yeah.
Brilliant. An MVP, Collie.
Jason Mewes for me, kind of like what we discussed at the start, like the ability from being like a non-actor to just working on movies with his pal to then carry a Hollywood film like very competently. I think it has to be him for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. It has to be him. Yeah, he's brilliant. And Todd?
Yeah, Jason Mewes for me as well.
Good stuff. Nice and easy. Okay, ratings then. Collie?
5-star for me.
Yeah, I give it 4.5. I think it's got to be a 5-star, to be perfectly honest, but 4.5 is what I've rated it. Todd?
Yeah, it's 5-star for me.
Good stuff. Okay, let's move on to the next film. Collie?
So 2004's Jersey Girl. Ollie Trinky is a young, suave music publicist who seems to have it all, with a new wife and a baby on the way. But life deals him a bum hand when he's suddenly faced with single fatherhood, a defunct career, and having to move in with his father. To bounce back, it takes a new love and the courage instilled in him by his daughter.
Brilliant. First thoughts, Collie?
I like this film. It's a very, like, different film. It seems a lot more like studio driven. It's good to see Ben Affleck again in a main role in a Kevin Smith film. It's just a bizarre turn away from the films that we've seen previously. It is more akin to the Chase and Amy, but even more, quote unquote, like adult or mature. I think the performances are really good top to bottom. I went in because I'd only watched this once, like, years ago. I went in fully expecting to hate it, and I actually found it really endearing, a lot more endearing than I expected.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as yourself. I thought it was going to go into another Chasing Amy, and obviously, I've given my thoughts on that. But I thought it was actually a really touching story, a really heartwarming story, with some wonderful performances. Yeah, it's cliche. Yeah, it's a bit saccharine at points. It's a bit silly, like in a way that it feels like a sort of rom-commy kind of unbelievable kind of things with some of the bits and pieces. But there's a load of heart in there, and that's what really helped it for me. Yeah, I left from watching this film and I was thoroughly surprised by it. I thought it was good. Todd?
Yeah, it's a first watch for me, and I went in. I've heard like mixed things about it. I went in probably with low expectations, to be fair. And like I say, it's a nice film. It's not one I'll watch regularly. I think the performances help, and like you say, a genuine amount of heart, like, and not too cheesy. Predictable, a little bit predictable. You can see where it's going, but um, yeah, I think the performances really hold this film up.
Definitely. We'll talk about performances. Obviously, the main character or the main actor is Ben Affleck, of course, back again. Thoughts on obviously him, Collie? What were your...
I think like for me, it might be my favorite Ben Affleck performance, at least in a Kevin Smith film, in terms of he's the kind of typical Ben Affleck arrogant stuff in the first, third or quarter, however long it is until Jennifer Lopez fucks off. So like he's like normal, confident Ben Affleck, and then I think he's very humble and very real, especially when he starts talking to Maya, Liv Tyler's character. I think his development of his relationship with his daughter is really interesting. That scene where like he shouts at her and says, about the, like blaming her for his wife dying essentially more than anything. I think it's like really actually really, really good acting from him. I think like for him to be, I don't know, this is on the back of Daredevil. This is like peak, like, what were they called? With the Benifer? Was that the name of their couple thing? This is like peak Benifer. Like obviously they split up during the making of this film or surrounding the release of this film or whatever. So this is probably his peak celebrity at this time. And it's kind of like prior to his comeback and being like an actual good actor kind of thing. So I think it's a really good performance. I think it's quite a mature performance from him because he could have just dialed it in, if he wanted to. But I don't think he did at all. I think he was really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. It felt almost like what Ben Affleck was sort of a bit known for more at that sort of time, being like the kind of the lead of a rom-commy kind of thing. But it had like that maturity to it as well, which I really appreciated. You're absolutely right. I think the sooner Jennifer Lopez fucked off, the better. And you can see the progression from his character. But even like the moments where he's kind of caught between wanting to pursue his life in New York that he had before, which was obviously a more affluent life, more kind of high class kind of life, compared to, being stuck between that and wanting to obviously still care for his daughter and things as well. I thought he played those moments really well as well. It was a very interesting performance from him. So I was pleasantly surprised from Ben Affleck. Todd?
Yeah, I'm the same. You get the relationships. I think, and obviously we'll touch on the performance of his daughter, but I just think their relationship and their chemistry together worked really well. Yeah, I believed him. And like you say, he could have dialed it in. This could have been a sleepwalking performance for Ben Affleck. It's one of those films where, we've seen what he can do, and he could just sort of like take it easy, and he doesn't. But even like the way that he interacts with Liv Tyler and kind of like is broken down, that I think is really well done.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you want to touch on the or sort of go into more his daughter's performance? Because in the opening credits for it as well, it said like introducing Raquel Castro, and I was like, sometimes when they do that, it's either going to be like a great performance from like someone that's kind of a debut performance, or it's one of those that's kind of like a token gesture. But certainly for myself, I thought she was great. Like some of the more mature moments that she had to deal with felt proper real, and especially like that sort of discussion around when he kind of snaps at her a little bit as well. I thought she was absolutely fantastic as a kid actor. What were your thoughts on that, Collie?
Yeah, I thought she was excellent. I thought she did exactly what she needed to do. Like, some of it was that cliche, like, you know, kid hanging around making comments when Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler are talking on like the doorstep when she comes to like apologize for how she was in the video store and stuff. And like, what does he say? He's like, I cried all the way home or whatever. And like Gertie just appears and goes, no, he didn't, or it was something like that. Anyway, like, that's kind of cliche, but I think she delivers it really well. She's very charming. I think like her performance in the Sweeney Todd thing near the end was really, really good. Because I don't think she had much of a film career after this, or it was like bit parts, but she's become more of a singer from checking her Wiki page and stuff. So you can definitely tell that's like, she's got that charisma and performing kind of, you know, path ahead of her based on this. But no, I thought she was really, really good as far as what she had to do.
Mm-hmm. Todd?
Yeah, she hit those sort of like the different beats, like the innocent stuff. So like when she's up in the bedroom with the lad and like they're showing each other, and then so like there's that conversation, and I think it's lovely how they did it with like where Ben Affleck's talking to them both, and she's just there like sort of swinging her legs, like nothing's wrong, she hasn't done any, you know, there's nothing weird about this, and then for her to then take that role with Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler about like what are your intentions with my dad. I thought that was brilliant. I think Kevin Smith gets an amazing performance out of it in terms of like you say, the screaming at each other and that silence like right the way through the house. I know it's more of a film thing, but it's still part of a performance. After he screams back at her about like just wanting his life back, and there's just that quiet. She does that really well. I thought she was excellent, and I'm like I struggle sometimes with kid actors. I think they can sort of be a bit shrill, we'll say. But like I thought she did it. She got every beat right, and she was like a highlight of the film for me.
Again, there's obviously more of a supporting cast stuff as well. We haven't really touched on Liv Tyler yet as well. But was there anyone else that stood out for yourself, Collie?
Yeah, George Carlin as his dad, I thought was amazing. I thought it was just the perfect balance of loving and caring for his son, but also trying to discipline him and hold him accountable for now being a dad. He's just like, because I think he says at one point, he's like, I lost my wife too. And Ben Affleck like rightfully retorts, he's just like, well, I lost mine after like however long it was or whatever. So different circumstances, but I think he does really well as the kind of the fatherly figure. And even as a grandfather to Gertie, I think he's just super loving and caring in that. And obviously a fair departure from his previous Kevin Smith roles. I think he does super, super well.
Yeah, absolutely. Todd?
Yeah, like I say, I know we've like spoken about it a little bit, but I think Liv Tyler does a great job of being that sort of like, she holds it together. She's strong, but doesn't like it. You know, in the moment where the talking about like he's talking about moving away and stuff, and like she runs back into the video shop, doesn't let him see her cry and stuff, and I think that kind of encompasses her character, that she's vulnerable, and Liv Tyler plays vulnerable very well, but doesn't show it, doesn't like let them know, and I think she's excellent, and even like the bits like the more cheeky, I wouldn't necessarily say comedy bits that Liv Tyler has, but like the cheeky bits, like where they're hiding in the shower together and like Ben Affleck talking to his daughter and stuff, I thought was really good. I'm with you on George Carlin. I thought he was phenomenal. And the two uncles as well, I thought it's Mike Starr and Stephen Root were amazing together, and just kind of playing into that the silliness again, like that sort of daftness of having to look after this little kid. I thought was excellent.
Mm-hmm. Liv Tyler for me, like, she's one of those actresses that I'm like, sometimes I can't quite get into performance, and certainly when she first came in, it just felt a bit sort of a struggle to kind of get what she was doing. But as the film progressed, I totally understood it a lot more. And it was almost like breaking down the barriers like they were doing in the film. It was me doing it with her as well, trying to get past that first sort of facade of her being kind of closed off. But yeah, I thought as it progressed, it was really nice, and there was a load of sort of smart things they did with imagery and that as well. Like it might be one of your scenes and stuff, so I do apologize. But like the dancing in the bar at the end, which is what he did with Jennifer Lopez at the start of the film. But this time it was obviously with Liv Tyler and things. That sort of stuff I thought was really well done. Will Smith as well, popping up. I thought it was a fantastic conversation that they had, and obviously it kind of bled on from the whole reasoning behind him not being in New York anymore and having a child and stuff. Again, we're talking about these big actors that pop in for a couple of minutes or whatever, and yeah, I thought his inclusion was a really smart one as well, and really interesting that you got to see obviously Deadshot and Batman talking to each other before they did in the Suicide Squad. So yeah, no, that was great. Collie, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to bring up and discuss? Or
I think just on the Will Smith thing, it was originally going to be set in like the 80s, I think, and Bruce Willis was supposed to be the star that he belittles and then meets later on or whatever, which would have been funny. Obviously, Kevin Smith working with him and then years later working with him in Cop Out, but no, not particularly. And a bit of trivia was Jersey Girl is the first major theatrical release to include a joke about the September 11 attacks. When Gertie asks to see Cats, Ollie refuses on the grounds that it is the second worst thing to happen to New York City. So yeah, I thought that was, of all people to include the first September 11th joke would be Kevin Smith, but yeah, no, that was it. And then like I had a bit about following the failure of Gigli, Miramax removed Jennifer Lopez, and they actually even publicly stated that she died at the start of the film, just to be like to people being like, yeah, she's not in it that much, so don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Oh me. All right. Well, favorite quotes then, Collie.
So it's the opening scene for me when all the little kids are reading out their notes about their parents and stuff, and just one of the girls just was like, "My mum and dad are very religious. At night, I hear them scream Jesus." That's just like there's like 3 or 4 of them, but that was one of the ones that made me actually laugh.
Mm-hmm. For me, it was the "What are your intentions?" when Gertie to Ollie and Maya, and I thought it was great. Todd.
Mine was the one where he's talking to his dad and he says, "Isn't that cute? It's 8 o'clock and you both get a bottle." I just thought that was like a lovely little dig. But the kid saying about my dad's got brown eyes because he's so full of, and that legitimate reaction where the teacher cuts him off was amazing.
Favorite scene, Collie?
The Sweeney Todd performance at Gertie's show, I thought that was amazing. Like even just the start of it and the intercuts with Ben Affleck trying to get there, and then he's blocked by the roadworks that he caused and has to run and stuff. I thought it was like a proper Hollywood moment and not very Kevin Smith-esque, but there's enough in it like to make it like seem Kevin Smith-esque. So yeah, probably that.
Mm-hmm. I'm exactly the same. It was like that right level of cheesy that it kind of it works. Also, one of the bits I really liked about that as well is when he got there and he basically like said to George Carlin like, "Give me that," and there was no hesitation as well. Like he was just like, because it was almost like he expected it to, him to show up and stuff, which I thought was a nice little subtle nod. Todd.
I'll just go with a different one just for the sake of being different. It's the diaper changing scene, the nappy changing scene. Just because of how like it's like the amount of talc that he's just like fucking, and there's that weird courier guy who's just like got all the advice and stuff, and with all the panic that's going on, I thought that was brilliant.
Brilliant. And finally, MVP, Collie.
George Carlin for me. I thought like it showed a different side of him. More of just a not just a silly over the top character. I thought it was very real.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I chose Affleck, but I totally agree with you with Carlin. But yeah, I thought Affleck was fantastic. As you said before, Todd, it could have been a sleepwalking performance, but I think he added loads to it. Yourself, Todd, MVP?
Yeah, Affleck for me, especially like in that opening section, he absolutely carries the film, and then just carries on doing fantastic work throughout it.
Good stuff. Okay, doke. Shall we rate it then, Collie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3.5 stars for me.
Cool. It was 3 for me. 3 for me. And Todd?
And a 3 from me.
Good stuff. All right, let's move on to the next one then. Collie, take it away.
So next is 2006's Clerks 2. A calamity at Dante and Randall's shop sends them looking for new horizons, but they ultimately settle at Moobies, a fictional Disney McDonald's-style fast food empire. What are you shaking your head at?
Movies. Well, Collie, first thoughts.
I think it's really, really good. I think it's like a worthy sequel to Clerks 1. It's got a lot of good development. Some of the characters added, Becky especially, are really good additions. I think it's just a good continuation of Randall and Dante's like relationship, but also like how just silly they are individually as well, especially Randall. He's like, I feel like he's the J of the partnership in terms of the silliness, and then I know Silent Bob doesn't speak, but Dante's kind of the more reserved character out of the two of them. So it's a good like mirror, I think, between the two kind of duos there. But no, excellent and a worthy sequel for me.
Mm-hmm. I struggled with it. I did. Not having the love and nostalgia for the first Clerks film. Yeah, there was moments where it just, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. There was things that was really fun and stuff, but then there was moments that it just felt bland at points for me. But again, what I would say is, and this is going forward a little bit, it does help the next installment, which we'll obviously talk about in more detail. But yeah, it didn't quite land for me, unfortunately. Todd?
Yeah, so I've watched it once before, and then had to. It's one of the ones I had to rewatch last night to kind of just refresh myself a little bit and go back over. Mainly because I've seen this film get shit on. Like, there's a lot of negative. I know it averages out on Letterboxd at like a 3, but like, there's a lot of people who really dislike it, and I don't quite get the hatred of it. I had a good time with it. I love just seeing. I like spending time with Dante and Randall. I like their conversations. I like how ridiculous it gets. And like you say, those little bit players that come in, some new characters and stuff. I think it works really well, and I think especially, I'd like to think that Kevin Smith had it in mind that he would be like making more of them, and that this was something to kind of to work with. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
Good stuff. So again, obviously the main sort of two are Dante and Randall. It's the clerks that we follow, but obviously they brought in Rosario Dawson as Becky as well. So it's and Elias as well as another additional character. What were your thoughts on well, firstly Dante and Randall and their progression, but then also the new characters that were introduced? So Collie.
I thought they were really good. I loved the fact that there was another like movie debate with Randall and the Hobbit nerds about the trilogies, and this description of the Lord of the Rings films is an argument that, as a lover of both trilogies, you've seen that for ages. He's just like, this is the first film, this is the second film, this is the third film, and then he goes on about like, the 25 false endings and how like, what is he? He's like, Sam should have sucked off Frodo at the end and stuff. Like, just like stupid inane like fandom arguments that like makes it real, similar to like the first one. Like, there's people out there that, whether they're like friendly banter, like between like say us or whatever about films, or like Twitter or discourse or anything like that, it just seemed very realistic that conversation and argument has been had throughout the years. I think like, Donnie's like it just comes across as such like a sweet guy, and he just doesn't know what he wants like romantically. I think he just like falls into these relationships and then discovers that it's not exactly what he wants. I think Rosario Dawson's amazing in this. I think like she's so charming, and so just like nice. Obviously, like there's a bit of badness in there, and the fact that she has like an affair with Dante to get pregnant and stuff. But yeah, I think she's just really, really funny. I think the way that she deals with Randall at times, like when I think her and Dante are in the office talking and Randall comes in a few times, the way she speaks to him is quite funny. Elias, I forgot about Elias when we are talking about the overall cast, but yeah, he's proper funny. And like you say, that leads more into 3 than it does here. He's more of just a punching bag in this, but yeah, I think he plays it really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I totally agree. I think for me, the two main characters, I preferred Randall in the first one because it felt like it was like he was a sort of jaded guy, and it sort of was kind of funny, but it felt more mean spirited in this one. I think that was kind of the switch where I kind of preferred Dante out of the two of them in Clerks 2. Rosario Dawson, though, incredible. I thought she was, and again we'll get to this, but I thought she was far away the best part of it. Like the charm that she has, that she brought to it, was excellent, and her relationship with Dante from the platonic side of things, and then obviously into the kind of more romantic things, I thought was really, really well done. Elias the punching bag, I genuinely felt sorry for him, and I know that's kind of that's sort of what he was going for, I suppose, as you say, being a bit of the punching bag. But I thought his inclusion was fantastic as well. And then Jane Silent Bob as well. Whenever they're on screen, it's absolutely class. But yeah, Rosario Dawson, given as good as she took from Randall as well, I thought was a genius stroke to get her. And again, we'll talk about her later as well. Todd, thoughts on?
With Dante and Randall, I think they progressed and changed just enough to believe that it was a little bit further down the line, but like not enough that we were like, oh, they've changed so much that they're not the characters that we knew from the first one. They're still miserable. They're still stuck in these shitty potentially stuck in these shitty dead end jobs. I think saying like the way that Dante falls into these relationships, I think that's a really good way of putting it. Like when he's talking about how uncomfortable he is about like taking a house and a car and one of the car washes to like off her dad and stuff. Like I think that's him in a nutshell. Like he's just looking for something and he'll take what he can get because anything's better than this. And that he finds that person is wonderful. Like the dancing bit, which is stupid, where she's like, "I'll teach you how to dance," and then she dances. But like the way that he looks at her is phenomenal. Like it's a lovely piece of direction, but it's a great performance as well. Because it's not like all over the top and like swooning, but you can just feel that love. Rosario Dawson's amazing. She's like, charming's the word, and I believe every bit of her. Like even at the donkey show where she comes in and she's like, what is it? Where she's like, I'm disgusted and I'm repulsed, but I can't look away. Like those moments, like, are amazing. I love the bullying of Elias. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but like the way that they treat him is amazing. And there's the one bit where Randall is a little bit human with him is where he's talking about the pants goblin. It was pillow pants. And like that's a perfect moment for Randall to absolutely rip the shit out of this kid. And he's like, he looks and thinks like, he's too far gone here. I can't do that. And the Jay and Silent Bob moment for me is where again Randall's bullying Elias, and he starts singing. And Jay like climbs in through the drive-through window and starts singing, and Silent Bob's just at the window dancing. I thought that was that wonderful. Like again, it's that chemistry between everybody bouncing off each other really well and really easily.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, any other? We kind of touched on the main parts of the cast. Again, there's little cameos and stuff. Ben Affleck in it for like again. 2 seconds. 2 seconds, he's in it. Jason Lee popping up, having rolled right off the set of My Name Is Earl with the same mustache and everything. It's just, again, it's so funny to see these people just pop up. Was there anything that stood out for yourself, Collie, with anyone else, or?
Not with anyone else, but the Buffalo Bill dance to Goodbye Horses by Jay is. And apparently, like, Jason Mewes suggested that because he does it to Kevin Smith regularly. So that he's just like, let's do it in the film. But no, nothing really to add. Like, everyone popping up was really good. I guess, like, Kevin Smith's wife is as Emma was fine. I thought she was all right. Obviously, we've not really spoke on her in the previous films that she's been in and stuff, but I thought she was decent enough to be promoted to the main cast, I guess you could say. But no, I thought she did perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think she was kind of the right level of kind of almost like sickly sweet. So it was between her and Rosario Dawson. It was like the kind of the obviously better kind of situation, but with someone that maybe could get a bit annoying, or the kind of worst kind of step, but with someone that obviously there was more connection and chemistry with. I thought that was a good kind of sort of parallels between them two. Anything else then you want to talk about?
Wanda Sykes and Earthquake as the married couple in that scene where for me, right, that isn't my favorite, but like it's so good because of them two, where she's like, I don't want my money, I don't want my food made by some racist, and he's like, I'll take some fucking free food. Like, they're just trying to give us food. Like, I'm sure he says something like, you can't taste racism. And she's like, throwing the food on the floor. Them two. And again, it's like, what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes? And they are brilliant together.
Mm-hmm.
They were definitely worth a mention.
I would say like the words that he's using, I cringed really hard at Randall using like that sort of. Again, it's a product of time. I get it. I understand the reason behind it, but I struggled with it. Like, it was
for me, like, because I know it's obviously like it's a difficult scene to talk about, but I think it's like he's a small town, like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? Idiot, like, who would use those kinds of phrases willingly and openly, and like when he's rhyming off, like, he's like, that's not a slur, these are, and then rhymes off like 10 of them, and it's like, that's the type of person who would do that sort of shit, who would be like, I'm okay with this because I'm not being racist, like how he perceives. Does that make sense? Like, he doesn't see himself as being racist. He's having a conversation about racism, and everybody else is just, and like, obviously then you've got Dante and you've got like Rosario, everybody around him going, shut the fuck up, please just stop it. Like, so I do think there's like, it works within the scene, but yes, you do just want him to show up.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? I think we've kind of covered a lot of it, right? Or any tidbits, Collie? Or
I think you and Joel Siegel of the Good Morning America show, the film critic from there, would get on. He walked out 40 minutes into a screening of the film. In his own words, first movie I've walked out in 30 fucking years. The straw that broke the camel's back was the scene where two of the characters discuss hiring a woman to perform sex acts with a donkey.
Sounds like a genuine guy. Yeah.
Okay, what a loser.
All right. Well, favorite quotes. Well, I'll go first. This one. It's when Rosario Dawson's on the roof and Jay's at the bottom, and he says, "If you're gonna jump, let me get a crack at that pussy first."
So sorry. Again, that's your favorite quote, but you'll like slag off all this other stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think because with Jay, it's endearing. Yeah, Collie.
I'll go with a Randall one, and I'll mention another one if Todd doesn't choose it. But Randall to Becky, I could probably sue this whole corporation right now for sexual harassment. You're just making me restock the napkin holders because of my firmly held beliefs on the subject of ass to mouth.
And Todd
said like 16 times in the film ass to mouth.
Yeah.
Mine is a Jay quote. And it's when the young lad walks up to him and says, "Are you holding?" And he says, "Everything except coke, heroin, and your cock," which that killed me. And then he goes into, he asks for a nickel bag, and he still does the $15, little man. Put that shit, and it's just nice little throwback.
Collie was there one.
The other one's a J one. He says, sometimes I wish I did a little bit more with my life instead of hanging out in front of places selling weed and shit. Like maybe be an animal doctor. Why not me? I like seals and shit. Or maybe an astronaut. Yeah, like be the first motherfucker to see a new galaxy or find a new alien life form. And fuck it. And people will be like, there he goes, homeboy fucked a Martian once. The thing is, like, see stuff like that. I don't know how much of that's Kevin Smith writing it and Jay.
Yeah.
Just saying it, yeah.
All right, favorite scene for myself. The dance montage. I thought that was like proper creative. And I a good bit of heart there. It's yeah, I thought it was great. Collie?
Yeah, the donkey show for me.
Jesus Christ. Todd?
Yeah, mine's the donkey show because it's so
Yeah.
fucking
You've got
wild.
good taste.
Like, yeah, it's the reactions. It's Elias being like drunk and being all over the place, and the reveal of who Kelly is. For me, I was just, I didn't realize until that moment. Rosario Dawson's reactions to it and everything, brilliant.
All right. And finally, MVP, Collie.
I'm going to give it to Jeff Anderson as Randall. I think he was really good, similar to like how Jason Mewes carries the comedic side of things. I just thought he was really, really good in it.
For me, it was Rosario Dawson. I thought she was fantastic. Absolutely. I've spoken quite why. Todd?
Yeah, I'm the same. Rosario Dawson. I think she's doing incredible work in this film.
Excellent. And ratings, Collie?
It's 4-star for me.
Todd?
3.5 for me.
2 stars for me. Okay. Let us move on to the next one, the final one in this part. Collie, what are we talking about?
We're going to be talking about 2008's Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Lifelong platonic friends Zack and Miri look to solve their respective cash flow problems by making an adult film together. As the cameras roll, however, the duo begin to sense that they may have more feelings for each other than they previously thought.
Interesting. What I would say is I've seen this one a couple of times before. I got this on Love Film. Do you remember Love Film?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Got a DVD sent through the post to me. And yeah, really enjoy it. It's a sort of fun, easygoing sort of movie with some really funny bits and some pretty funny performances as well. So yeah, I do find this film very easy to watch and it's good. Collie, thoughts on Zack and Miri?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's kind of not run of the mill in a like a derogatory way, but it's kind of there's a lot of comedies around this mid 2000s to maybe early 2010s that are kind of similar like this. I kind of put this in the Pineapple Express. I mean, obviously a lot of it's like Seth Rogen orientated, but even like stuff like The Hangover and those kind of type comedies around this
40-Year-Old
time.
Virgin, that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, I kind of put them in the same kind of bag. So I really enjoy it. Could it have been made by anyone else apart from Kevin Smith? Quite possibly, but I think he does add his own bits of flavour to it, bits of silliness to it. Some of the lines and the quotes that we'll get to are very much Kevin Smith, but yeah, good fun.
Mm-hmm. And Todd?
Yeah, I've watched it before, quite some time ago, I imagine. So it felt quite fresh in terms of knowing the jokes or whatever. Like you say, it's predictable, but I think it does have that flair that makes it better than what it could have been. It makes it better than its synopsis, let's say. And some of the performances and some of the lines are just fucking ridiculous. And it's it's one that I will rewatch again and again on a Sunday afternoon. Do you know what I mean? Chuck it on and have like a proper laugh at it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, well, again, very much like in Kevin Smith's films, there's the sort of like the main two, the dynamic between Elizabeth Banks and Seth Rogen as Zack and Miri. What do you make of their performances, Collie?
Yeah, I thought they were really good. Like, obviously, two really talented comedic actors anyway from other work and stuff. Kevin Smith actually wrote the role of Zack with Seth Rogen in mind, and he stated that if Rogen turned down the role, then the film probably wouldn't have been made. So that kind of shows how integral he was to the writing process, to the thought process behind the film. I think it's like we said before, like it's just a very much a Seth Rogen role at the time. He's got his laugh in there, all that kind of typical Seth Rogen stuff. Elizabeth Banks is brilliant though. Yeah. I think she's just really lovely and innocent, and she kind of handles everything. Like, so the first half of the film when she's like trying to seduce Brandon Routh and stuff like that at the dance, and that's very cringy, but in a funny way. But I think like after that, and then when she starts realizing that she's maybe got feelings for Seth Rogen's Zack, I think the performance becomes like better in terms of emotionally and stuff, and I think it just flows with the story really well.
Mm-hmm. completely agree. Yeah, the Elizabeth Banks at the reunion thing, and Todd, you'll get Steph as well, but it's very Always Sunny. You know, their reunion, like it feels like she's like kind of got that bit of
The
edge to
Olivia
her.
Munn's there.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I think she's fantastic. You're absolutely spot on, Colin. When you can see that she starts to get feeling, especially after they've made love on camera for the first time, like it sort of switches things. But Seth Rogen as well, as you say, like I'd even wrote it down, as you say, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up as well. It's like that sort of kind of similar kind of feeling. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But it just feels like it's made for him, and I think Kevin Smith making sure that he was there for it is a fantastic just as anything about the film, really, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, no, I thought their relationship was great. Even the kind of relationship they build with supporting cast as well was good. But their main two relationship and the way it progressed, I thought was really well done. Todd?
Yeah, you believe that they're platonic friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, if they didn't fall in love at some point in this film, I'd have been fine with that because they work so well together. But like Elizabeth Banks for me was like at the peak of a sort of career here where she was doing these films and sort of hitting those comedy notes, but she does the serious stuff really well. Seth Rogen, isn't he? Like he has that energy about him that's similar in every film, and I think they bounce off each other really well. And I think they give enough time to the supporting cast that it's not just like the Zack and Miri show as such. There's plenty of other lines for plenty of other people that work just as well.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we sort of touched on the cast, the rest of the cast there. So obviously, there's this sort of the normal Kevin Smith alumni. We've got Jason Mewes and things as well. I thought the really good introduction was the addition was Craig Robinson. I thought he was great as Delaney, the the guy with the wife that he kind of kept everything from. I thought his introduction was great. Was there anyone else in the kind of the additional cast that you thought stood out, Collie?
I like Jason Mewes in there. Justin Long was really funny as well. Brandon Ruth as well. I think everyone just like had their little bits and pieces and had their kind of moment to shine, which is kind of happens in a lot of these comedies that we keep referring back to of this genre, that there's the main couple of folk, but then everyone's got their own little bit. Like even Superbad, like there's the main three guys, but then like the cops, like Seth Rogen gets to do his bit in that. So it's very similar to that there's the scenes and there's quotes from everybody else that stand out as well. But it's all about like elevating the main two.
Yeah, 100%. Todd?
Yeah, obviously Craig Robinson in this it's hard, but like some of his line delivery is fucking outrageous, like just untouchable. Justin Long, that rewind moment of him saying about I apologize if this is one of your quotes, but like when he's talking about I better butch up instead of pretending like, I'm not saying that I love it to shove your dick in my mouth, and he has to take that sip of the drink to stop himself from laughing, is ridiculous. Like, it's so fucking funny. Yeah, and this is the first time he's worked with Justin Long, and will be a regular feature in the Kevin Smith films. I thought he's Jury Bedknob as the guy who owns the coffee shop at the beginning as well. Like, it's a very similar role to 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he comes in, he's pissed off at everybody, shouts at everybody, and goes. I thought he was really funny as well. I think it's the perfect role for Jason Mewes, where he's not playing Jay, but he still has that level of like almost like immaturity but energy about him as Lester, which is just fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and anyone else you want to talk about then, Collie, with the cast? I think
just on the Jason Mew thing, that do you know when he flips his tie to his back during one of the sex scenes?
Yeah,
he had to do that because he's got Harley Quinn tattooed on his back for Kevin Smith's daughter. Like down his spine, he's got Harley Quinn tattooed. So the ties to cover up that during that sex scene.
Brilliant.
And it's also just a funny thing that he has to move his tie out his way.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So good. Yeah, any other tidbits you want to touch on, Collie, or
Oh, that was it for me, really.
happy with that? Yeah, perfect. All right, we'll quote. I mean, I'll go first. It might be one of yours as well, but it's Craig Robinson. When the customer asks him, "Can I get a cup of coffee black?" and he says, "Can't you see I'm talking white?" Like, perfect. It's absolutely. That's one of the best lines that Kevin Smith's ever written. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Collie.
Mine's is a Zack one. He's like, that's what porno is. It's fantasy. It's taking the normal and making it abnormal by fucking it.
Todd.
Mine is also a Craig Robinson one, but mine is where Zack like pretends to hump the dog. He's like, "Don't do that. Little dog don't like that. I like that guy, but if he tries to fuck that dog for real, I'm calling the Humane Society." Like, just, the way he delivers it, like it's with such subtlety. It was brilliant. But there's so many of them. There's so many things that could be quotes in that film. Yeah,
Absolutely. And then favorite scene for me, it's just the whole reunion, like just the whole thing from start to finish, and especially obviously with Justin Long and stuff as well is perfect. Collie.
Yeah, the initial filming scene and the guy coming in thinking that the coffee shop's still open and stuff was just really good. I thought that was funny.
What's he shouting again? He's like, "Go Steelers" or something like that, isn't it?
It's Penguin. Is it Penguins?
Penguins. Oh yeah.
Is it the ice hockey? I think it's the ice hockey. Yeah.
I think you're right, yeah. Brilliant. Todd.
mine's the very end where Zack goes back to the house and Lester's living there, like, because it's such a wonderful scene, and then he's got the double Dutch rudder going on, which is fucking amazing, and it's so silly but like so heartfelt as well. Yeah, it's that end scene is brilliant.
Good stuff. And then MVP, Collie.
Seth Rogen for me. I know it was like written for him specifically in that, but I think it's difficult because I love so many of his films that he was making around this time, so it's hard to say if it's my favorite performance of his, but I think he's the standout in this.
Yeah, 100% agree. The growth he shows as well is brilliant. And I'm not talking about his Willie. Todd?
Yeah, Seth Rogen for me.
Excellent. Well, let's go on to ratings. I'll just preface this by saying I think I was harsh. It should be a 4, but I rated it 3.5. Collie?
You rated it 3.5 though,
Yeah,
so no
yeah,
excuses
no,
or anything.
Yep.
4 stars for me.
And Todd?
And 4 from me as well. 4 from me.
Fair enough.
As it should be. None of this, oh, well, maybe I should
No, I
rate it
know.
and shut up.
Exactly. Stick to your guns. Right.
I reckon, like, of all these films so far, and we'll get to this probably at the end in the recap of all of our ratings, but see if Kevin Smith's name was attached to half of these films, I bet you'd rate them higher.
I don't know.
Well, you literally, like, I've already, like,
Oh,
walked
that-
back 2 of them.
No, that one I because I've spoken about it, but it's not because it's Kevin Smith. I've given him 5 stars and a 4.5 stars, so
That 4.5 that you've already went, oh, it probably should have been a 5, so.
yeah. It's high praise.
Shocking.
Anyway, that is the end of part 2. Still got another 2 parts of this to go. So as always, if you're listening on Spotify, remember to follow. Let us know what you think. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, give us a wee comment, and let us know your thoughts on Kevin Smith's film. But we will see you guys in the next one, part 3. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Damn it.